Yo, what is going on, guys? Just wanted to come on here to give a recap for Thursday's trade. Thursday's trade was not a uh was not a backtest session, but I managed to actually find a trade within the charts, right? So if we're taking trades on the chart, we're sticking to our rules, which is one trade per day. Um, that's the system that we have with trading on the charts. Stops us from over trading, stops us from over leveraging, stops us from revenge trading. So one trade, manage to trade until break even, close the laptop, whatever, let the trade play out, right? So um so this trade here was a break even really quick. But again, I love seeing whether the trade plays out or not. So again, it's one of those things where we get our early break even. It is what it is. Though we hit our break even pretty fast. Nothing much we can do there in terms of nothing much we can do in terms of um anything really. Once we manage our trade and we go break even, and that is that, right? Again, we talk about how when we chase lows and we're in a sell, we took a sell here. When we chase lows, we should displace from them, not kind of hover above them and then start to make higher highs again. Sometimes we make higher highs into the original leg and then we end up kind of doing this. But again, it's one of those things where um we take what we get, and if we see a trade, we take it. And we follow our rules, because it's when you take a trade, there's either two things that can happen. You either get stopped out, or the trade ends up going a direction. And we want to be, if we are right in these markets, we see displacement passes whole those lows if we're selling, and then those highs if we're buying. So yeah, it's those cases where unfortunately we swept the low, internal low, and caused it to hit us break even pretty quickly. And yeah, hit us break even pretty quickly. But it is what it is. We move on, right? So I'll kind of jump into the high time frame context. I'll kind of just mark out so we don't get lost, because here is another days of price action, but we shall get into that later. I do see a setup, um, especially on the 4 hour time frame. So we still have room to go short. Um, yeah, because we're still within this 4 hour leg here, and we filled an equilibrium now. So we still could take shorts. But again, that's for tomorrow, and we'll see if we get an entry model tomorrow. But anyways, what do we have on the 1 hour? Well, the 4 hour at the time was not making a retracement, so which tells me that the 4 hour could still be making that leg down, right? Still could be making that leg down, but unfortunately, on the extension, um, you know, we kind of reached the end of the extension of this leg, which caused us to rally back up again. So as you guys can see, we took out those internal lows, which I'll show you guys in a second, and then we end up, trying to we're making that retracement now. So yeah, it's one of those things where yeah, it's one of those things where when we take a buy, or if we take a sell in this case, um, sometimes a higher time frame just acts upon us, and kind of delivers when it wants to. So yeah, in this case, um, we were finished making that 4 hour leg, and we start to make the retracement. Unlucky timing, because though the 1 hour filled equilibrium, um, we try to get that reaction back down again, but again, it was the end of this 4 hour leg extension. It is what it is. We move on. But so yeah, so there was no equilibrium on the 4 hour. However, we did wait for equilibrium to be tapped on the 1 hour, and so from structure to structure. So what did we have from these highs down to these lows? we kind of only had a couple things, which was this order block here. We had a couple fair value gaps, but it wasn't within equilibrium, so we didn't even bother. We had this order block, and the last kind of defense, which was this 1 hour, but by the time price even hits this 1 hour, we've already shifted structure. So ideally, we're pretty much within um, this 1 hour order block here within equilibrium. So our two confluences have been checked. We are in a POI. We've also hit high time frame equilibrium, high time frame POI as well. So that covers our high time frame kind of analysis of why we are shorting. Um, the only thing that kind of affected us at the time was this making this high time frame leg, which is all right. It is what it is. Um, yeah, we were still far down on the extension, and again, equilibrium has now been filled, so it just means that unfortunately, we were at the end of that 4 hour extension. But again, still had that 1 hour confluence, which in this case was that 1 hour leg. From these highs down to these lows, we had a nice displacement. Displacement meaning we have some fair value gaps as well within the leg, so we count that as our structure. Um, yeah, we had this 1 hour order block here. Pretty much now, hard time frame's been checked off. Now we're waiting for our entry model, right? For our entry model, what did we want to see? We wanted to see a clean sweep of any 5 minute highs or lows. So that means that we're not closing above any 5 minute highs, which in this case we weren't able to get here. Neither here, neither here. No close here. No clean close here. We tap back into this 1 hour fair value gap again. It would have been nice if we swept these 5 minute highs here, but unfortunately we didn't. The only entry model we had was this candle here, right? So what are we waiting for? A 5 minute clean sweep, right? We get our clean sweep here, right? We also take out these 5 minute highs as well. And I think we take out these ones, or no, we didn't take out these ones. But again, we still get a 5 minute clean close, so not above these highs here. So we get our sweep, right? We have our displacement because there's at least one fair value gap within that leg. We have our market structure shift. Yep, we have our market structure shift. We have a fair value gap within the leg. Did I just confuse myself? Okay. Yep. Damn, that looks like a sus close to me, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Because I was taking this trade on my phone, so we didn't actually get that close, but we did get that close here. We did get the closure here, but we're still within. I mean, it still works out because we still didn't close above these highs here. Okay, so we still get the 5 minute microstructure shift. We did have this 5 minute fair value gap above, which price filled, but ideally we didn't want price to close above these highs here. Otherwise, that would mean that we would have broken structure. So we were at our last point of defense, right? So I guess I made a mistake here. I should have seen the close. I must have just seen it like this and be like, oh yeah, that looks like a close to me. But the mistake was wasn't a clean close. So as you guys can see here, this was a clean close, but we had no displacement, right? Because no fair value gaps was made within the leg. So ideally, this trade shouldn't have been taken. So that was a mistake. I should have double checked the close on this candle here. Because ideally, if we did get a proper close, this would have been a perfect sweep. This would have been a perfect sweep here. And then I thought this would have, man, I must have, because I was driving on the way home and I saw this. Um, yeah, so that should have been a close, but we didn't actually close there. Unless we close on another, I don't know. But yeah, I should have waited for a clean close here. We would have had a nice retracement, right? Because I thought we closed here. Made a nice retracement into that fair value gap, as well as this order block up here. Um, and then we get some nice displacement out of it. I enter on this candle here, and my break even was at these lows down here. Because ideally, we follow through enough to the point where we get enough displacement where it can kind of make room for itself for the trade to play out and then continue down lower. But what ended up happening was we get a sweep. The trade looked promising, and then we get a hit of our break even, and then price starts to deliver a little bit, and then again, yeah, it was just one of those trades where, um, we weren't, yeah, unfortunately, we weren't able to catch that move all the way back down, but and we were kind of at the end of that 4 hour extension leg. So, yeah, it is what it is. And yeah, so the mistake I made was definitely waiting for or not waiting for a proper close. Yeah, again, I saw this on my phone, just finished a 10-hour shift. I must have thought this was a close. I mean, I looked at the charts like this and I must have thought it was a close. Um, I should have actually drawn a line through it. But yeah, again, mistake on my part. So I admit that. So that is a mistake. So this trade shouldn't have been taken at all. Because we for our trade to be valid, we need displacement, which is at least one fair value gap within the leg, and we need a market structure shift, which is what we had here after a clean sweep. So we had the displacement, which is our fair value gap. We had this order block up here. But again, we didn't get the close. So we had displacement, no close, so this shouldn't have been a trade. But I mean, you guys see the concept, right? We still had these lows to get taken out, so we still had a place to go break even. So yeah, as soon as we took these lows, as soon as that second candle opened, pretty much worked us out at break even, and yeah, continue down for a little bit until we got down to these lows here and here, and yeah, we weren't able to kind of get that commitment. So unfortunate. So I made a mistake that day, which is it is what it is. But again, definitely got to double check the closes. They are important. So yeah. Um, what am I looking for tomorrow? Well, tomorrow, we are within this leg still. We've now filled in equilibrium, so now we have a couple POIs to look at to actually go short, which we have this 4 hour gap here, as well as this 4 hour order block here, as well as this big fair value gap here, and as well as this area as well to go short. So kind of a big order block range there, but we can see that the 4 hour is now internally in bullish state. So for us to even look for a trade to go bullish, um, we'll need a retracement down to this fair value gap here. But to double check, yeah, we are bearish. Daily time frames bearish. Yeah. And we're in a daily fair value gap as well. So probably looking for shorts. Um, yeah, definitely will be looking for shorts. This would have been a nice trade here. Sweep. No closure above. Market structure shift. Did we fill in equilibrium at all? No. Well, we fill it here. So it'll be interesting. See what price will do around this area here. So yeah, I mean that is kind of the outlook for tomorrow. Definitely won't catch this. So if we do go short from this area, definitely won't be able to catch it. But we'll see when I check the markets when I wake up, and I'll see what the haps are and see if we're able to kind of um, what the hell is this? Um, and see if we're able to take a trade. But tomorrow, no news throughout the day. We do have red folder the next day, so Tuesday. Oh no, tomorrow. Is this tomorrow? Yeah, it's already 2 a.m. So yeah, tomorrow around 4. So red folder news will be at 4. Okay. But yeah, I mean that kind of wraps it up for today's video. Just want to say God bless you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a great week. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.